Yep, it's true. I had my very own Wheaties box. And no, my mom didn't pay the photographer to put me on the Wheaties box. This is a real one, and I'm gonna tell you how I got on here. Hi everybody, my name is Amy Van Dyken. I am a 6-time Olympic gold medalist, and now I am a T11 paraplegic, and I live my life in a wheelchair. Today we're talking Olympic stuff, and we are talking the Wheaties box. So how did this happen? I honestly still don't know. I go to the Olympics in '96. Nobody knows who I am, which was kind of cool. But then by the end, everyone knew who I was because I had just made history. I am the first American woman to win 4 gold medals in a single Olympics. Summer, winter, any sport. It has since been tied by, are you ready for this? Missy Franklin, Simone Biles, and Katie Ledecky. Are you kidding me? Like, those are such great names, but it's time for it to be broken. Anyway, so after that happened, everyone has seen my face. Everybody knows who I am. I've been all over TV, all over the things. And so one day my agent was like, hey, Ames, I need you to come to my hotel room. I have something for you. And I was like, oh, Janie, okay, I'll get there. Now, this was back before rideshare. So there was no Lyft, there was no Uber. You had a taxi and that was pretty much it. Well, I was staying in the Olympic Village and there were no taxis that were coming anywhere near the Olympic Village. Why? I'm not quite sure, but anyway. So I start walking and there's some volunteers and they kind of go by me in a golf cart and they wave, hi, Amy, and then they stop because they want to chat, right? Which is great. They're like, where are you going? I said, oh man, I got to go to downtown. I got to go to the Omni. I have to meet my agent. And they looked at each other and they're like, come on in. I was like, what? They took me through the streets of downtown Atlanta, Georgia during the Olympics when it was just so busy and got me to the hotel. I get there, go up to the room and I'm like, Janie, how are you? It's good to see you. What do you have for me? I look on her bed and there I see Wheaties boxes. Now, when you see the mock-ups of them, basically what it is it's the front, the sides, and the back. Isn't she cute? All on one big, huge piece of paper. So I had seen 2 of her other athletes, which were Dan O'Brien, who had won the decathlon, huge, and Michael Johnson, who had won basically track. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're on the Wheaties box. This is so cool. I'm so excited for them. And then she moved them and there it was. I saw it. I almost started to cry because I thought about all the athletes who had been on there before me. Michael Jordan had been on there. Mary Lou Retton had been on there. Bruce Jenner had been on there. Like, all of these were iconic athletes and now they're asking me to be on it. I'm like, absolutely, I love it. Well, so then what you have to do is you have to proof it. And then they send a little contract and I signed it. And my agent, Janie, goes, so now you know that's an NDA and you can't tell anybody that you're on the Wheaties box. I can't tell what? I have the biggest mouth ever. And you know that I was excited to go and tell everybody, but I couldn't tell anybody. And I knew that this was like a big deal. People were interviewing me and doing the whole, so do you like cereal? So they were all trying to get me to say, oh my gosh, I'm on the Wheaties box. But I didn't. I was really, really good and I never ever said it. So they had to do this big, huge announcement because every year it's a big deal as to who gets on the Wheaties box. Now let me just go ahead and I want to preface this as well and tell you, you're not going to get rich from the Wheaties box. It is called Favored Nations. And what Favored Nations is basically anybody who has ever been on the box or will be on the box gets the same deal. Doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, you get the same amount as everybody else so that they don't have to negotiate. It's kind of a good thing for the companies. So heck yeah, it's a Wheaties box. Of course I'm going to do it. We get to the announcement for Wheaties. We're all backstage, right? So you've got all the gymnasts because, you know, on the box was Dan O'Brien, Michael Johnson, the gymnastics team. You remember Carrie Strug, you remember Dominique Moceanu, right? So they were on there and me. I was the only female that had her own Wheaties box. That was a huge, huge deal. But we were back there, we're talking to all the gymnasts because they were just so awesome. And it was fun to like chit and chat with them because they were a lot younger than we were. So I think we were living vicariously. Somehow, I think it was either Dan or Michael, they bring up peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I'm like, oh my God, that's my favorite ever. And Dominique Moceanu looks and was like, well, I've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now remember, this is a long time ago, so that might not have been exactly what she said, but it was something similar to that. And we were like, what? We got to get you a PB&J, girl. Then they start making the announcements and they're like, okay, everybody get into your places. So what they do when they make the announcements is you've got these big, huge boxes of Wheaties. It just says Wheaties across it. It doesn't have a picture. It doesn't have anything. And very Friday Night Lights, like high school football, they're like, and the next Wheaties boxes. You do the drum roll, and you bust through the Wheaties box and you're like, ha, because you don't know what else to do. And there it is, the announcement has been made. And I am going to tell you what this Wheaties box means so much to me, but I want to tell you guys something kind of cool about this. So what had happened was, if you look, my Wheaties box, I have got a Speedo logo right here. Well, I was sponsored by Speedo, and my agent, Janie Miller, was like, no, we have to have the Speedo on there. Well, the first run of my Wheaties box, I want to say it was the first couple of thousand, did not have the Speedo logo, but they ran them and let them go anyway, which is really interesting because now people have this Wheaties box that don't have the logo, which is worth a lot more than with the logo. But to me, in my world at the time, it meant more to me to have the logo on there than to not have the logo on there. If you see a Wheaties box, if you happen to like whatever, and it doesn't have the Speedo logo, that's the one you want to do. It is the coolest thing to go through grocery stores, to see your face everywhere. And it is such an honor to say that I am a part of the Wheaties family. When you are practicing for something, you need to also practice your celebration face, because since '96, I've been signing this, which is great. But wouldn't it have been a little bit better to be on a Wheaties box going, I mean, I kind of think so. So if you're doing anything and there was an award at the end, practice your celebration face, because you don't want to be signing for the rest of your life. It's such an honor. I have been sent so many of these that have cereal in them still. This was in 1996. I'm gonna tell you, I love you all for saving those. Remove the cereal. I mean, at this point, it's something that my nieces and nephews will think is cool. I also got to do the milk ad with Annie Leibovitz, and I will definitely talk about that later because that was an amazing experience. But I used to always tell people, of course I'm in the milk ad too. You have to have your milk with your Wheaties. Oh, Amy. So there you go. That's how I got on the Wheaties box. That's my Wheaties box. And now you know all the ins and outs of this Wheaties box. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Please remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you in the next one. Be well. Mwah.